Have you ever been just scrolling through TikTok and suddenly a video hits you with one absolutely mind-blowing 15-second hook?
Oh, all the time.
Right. Like the guitar riff is completely unhinged or the vocal run is wild, the production is huge, and you just instantly hit save.
Yeah, you feel like you found your new favorite song.
Exactly. But then, a few hours later, you open it up on Spotify, you hit play on the full track, and you realize the rest of the song is entirely forgettable.
It's so disappointing.
It really is. It's just like 3 minutes of hollow filler built around one engineered moment.
Which happens constantly now, by the way. I mean, we are seeing a fundamental restructuring of how art is delivered, where the packaging has basically become the entire product.
Wow, yeah.
The music industry has always had one-hit wonders, but now we are dealing with one-hook wonders.
Which is exactly what we're getting into today.
Yeah.
Our mission for this deep dive is to explore how digital algorithms, streaming culture, and just the internet at large are fundamentally rewiring music.
And we aren't just talking about the marketing side of things here.
No, not at all. We are looking at how the actual notes are being written, how song structures are being inverted, and honestly, how this high-pressure, metric-driven landscape is fundamentally altering the mental health of the creators behind the art.
It's a massive shift. And to really grasp the scale of this, we have to look at the transition we've made as a culture regarding discovery.
Right.
Because we moved from an era where you discovered music through like physical media or curated radio to an era of perpetual doom scrolling.
Yeah, just swiping and swiping.
Exactly. And in an algorithmic feed, the economics of attention are just brutal. I mean, you have milliseconds to capture a listener before they swipe.
Milliseconds.
Literally. If an artist doesn't trigger an immediate dopamine spike, they just die in the algorithmic abyss.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really understand the modern music industry, we have to start at the very beginning of the creative process.
The writing process.
Right, the songwriting itself has been flipped completely upside down.
It has. According to our source material for this deep dive, which is a really fascinating conversation on the Chris Williamson channel featuring music creator Nick Nocturnal, many artists are abandoning chronological songwriting entirely.
Wait, entirely? Like they don't start at the beginning of the song?
Not anymore. Instead of opening up a session and writing a verse and then a chorus, they are starting from the climactic moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the modern metal and core scenes they discuss, that might be a massive, earth-shattering breakdown or an abrasive vocal run. They literally engineer that 15-second peak first.
They just make the TikTok clip first.
Basically, yeah. They perfect the sonic impact of that specific clip, and then they work backward to fill in the rest of the song as an afterthought.
That is wild. It sounds like directing a horror movie that is nothing but jump scares, with absolutely no plot to connect them.
That's a great way to put it.
But, I mean, can a musician actually sustain a career just serving up the sonic equivalent of a sugar crash?
Well, what's fascinating here is the stark difference between generating a cheap viral moment and crafting a lasting piece of art. The sources highlight the inherent risk of this jump scare method.
Right, because there has to be a catch.
There is. A wildly over-the-top breakdown will definitely generate a spike in those, like, what was that? Reactions in the comments.
Yeah, people love reacting to that stuff.
Exactly, and people will share the clip. It spikes the engagement velocity metrics that algorithms just love, but the song itself lacks any replayability.
Because nobody actually adds a meme to their daily driving playlist.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hold up when you're just sitting in traffic.
Exactly. If an artist focuses purely on creating a memeable moment instead of building a structurally sound piece of music, they vanish the second the algorithm finds a new shiny object.
Which happens fast.
Really fast. But then look at a band like Sleep Token.
Oh, yeah.
They had a massive, unavoidable viral moment on TikTok with their song, The Summoning. It completely took over the platform.
It was everywhere.
But the reason they managed to convert that virality into a sustained, explosive career trajectory is that The Summoning was a genuinely well-crafted, dynamic piece of music.
It was an actual song, not just a clip.
Right. And furthermore, the band already had a deep catalog of high-quality material waiting for people who went looking for more.
Ah, so they have the foundation.
Exactly. If you engineer the viral moment, but the underlying song lacks substance, the system just discards you.
Wow. So artists are reverse engineering their songs in the studio specifically to trigger the algorithm.
Yeah, pretty much.
But here's where it gets really interesting. If bands are doing that on the production side, Marketing agencies are doing the exact same thing to the audience itself.
Oh, and totally.
Like they're reverse engineering you, the listener.
We're seeing the total gamification of the audience. I mean, the discussion dives into a band named Geese, who experienced this incredibly sudden meteoric rise in popularity.
Yeah.
And almost immediately, that spike led to online accusations that they were an industry plant, manufactured in a corporate boardroom to appeal to a specific demographic.
Which is such a massive insult in music culture. But the reality of how they blew up is just a masterclass in digital sleight of hand.
It really is.
A digital marketing firm called Chaotic Good Projects actually admitted to using a strategy they call trend simulation for the band.
Trend simulation.
Yeah. And we aren't just talking about buying a few fake likes. They used thousands of burner accounts to fabricate whole ecosystems of fake comments.
It's crazy.
They would seed the background of videos, they'd script fake arguments in comment sections, and just artificially inject the music into TikTok's recommendation engine.
And the mechanics of how this tricks the algorithm are so crucial to understand. TikTok's engine measures completion rates and engagement velocity.
Right, how fast people interact.
Exactly. So when a marketing firm unleashes a coordinated swarm of burner accounts to, say, debate a song in the comments, real users stop scrolling to read the drama.
Because everyone loves drama.
We do. And that increases the watch time of the video. The algorithm interprets that extended watch time and rapid comment velocity as organic, explosive cultural relevance.
Even though it's completely fake.
Completely. And then it pushes the video to a massive, broader audience. It creates a terrifying race to the bottom for independent artists.
Because they realize that gamifying the system is becoming the minimum baseline required just to get heard.
Right. It's no longer just about the music.
I want to push back on this a little bit, though.
Sure.
Think about old-school 1990s guerrilla marketing. You had street teams handing out fake dollar bills with the band's logo on them, or fans wheat-pasting cryptic posters all over city walls just to build hype.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
That was also manufactured buzz, right?
Right.
So why does this modern digital deception, this trend simulation, feel so much more insulting to the fans?
Well, it really comes down to the psychological contract between the artist and the audience.
Okay, tell me more about that.
Music fans, especially in hardcore punk and metal scenes, invest heavily in the authentic struggle of the artist. The mythology of a band grinding it out in a van, sleeping on floors, and playing to empty rooms until they break through, that's central to the culture.
Right, it's about earning your stripes.
Exactly. A street team in the 90s was still made up of real kids who genuinely loved the band and wanted to share them.
That makes sense.
Finding out that the grassroots hype you participated in today was actually a manufactured tech campaign executed by a firm running scripts and burner accounts, it feels like a betrayal.
Yeah, I can see that.
The audience realizes they weren't participating in a cultural moment, they were just being farmed for data and engagement.
And that exhaustion with fake viral marketing is palpable. People are so tired of it.
Oh, absolutely.
And fans are equally exhausted by the alternative, which is just formulaic, middle-of-the-road radio hits. In the modern rock scene, they refer to this as octane core.
Yes, octane core.
It's this highly sterile, standardized product that uses the safest chord progressions and heavily compressed, polished production, optimized purely for background radio play.
It is the ultimate manifestation of the industry machine prioritizing safety over innovation.
It really makes me think of the music industry as a massive restaurant.
How so?
Well, the mainstream is this giant, sterile fast food franchise churning out octane core that tastes exactly the same in every city.
Right.
So true music fans and the authentic artists are sprinting away from the middle. They are splintering into two extreme directions.
I like this analogy.
Thanks. They either demand aggressive, unpolished nostalgia, or they want a bizarre, genreless frontier. Like they are either ordering their mom's homemade comfort foods from 2006, or they're ordering a wild fusion dish that defies categorization entirely.
That is incredibly accurate. Let's break down that nostalgia side first.
Yeah, let's do it.
There is a massive resurgence of raw, abrasive, 2000s-era deathcore and metalcore. Heavyweight bands like Bring Me the Horizon are revisiting the chaotic, unpolished sounds from their earliest records.
Really going back to their roots.
Exactly. Listeners are actively craving the raw sonics of a trash can snare or the visceral impact of an 808 bass drop that is intentionally mixed so loud it clips the audio and sounds like it's literally destroying the speakers.
And that clipping is such an important detail. detail. It's an active sonic rebellion against the hyper-clean, grid-aligned perfection of modern, algorithm-friendly music.
He really is.
When the audio physically distorts, it feels dangerous. It feels human.
Yeah.
It reminds people of a time when the music itself, not the internet, was dictating the physical limits of the art.
Yeah, well said. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have the genreless frontier.
The wild fusion dish.
Exactly. The sources point out a fascinating mathematical reality about modern music. Pretty much every palatable chord progression has already been written. I mean, Ed Sheeran essentially demonstrated in court that Western pop music is built on a finite set of chords that are just recycled endlessly.
Right, that lawsuit.
Yeah. So if the foundational notes are mathematically exhausted, innovation has to come from extreme sonic juxtaposition.
And the combinations get wild. I mean, the sources discuss bands taking extreme subgenres like soul, which relies on heavy, down-tuned, atmospheric, off-kilter grooves, and seamlessly blending it with smooth R&B vocal choruses.
It shouldn't work, but it does.
It's crazy. You have projects like Mirar, creating music that smashes together classical symphonic arrangements, electronic dubstep drops, and extreme technical metal, all without any vocals to guide the listener.
And this raises an important question. If boundaries no longer exist and a track can pivot from extreme metal blast beats into a pop chorus in the blink of an eye, how do we define an artist's identity?
Right.
The differentiator is no longer the genre tag on the album. The differentiator becomes the raw, undeniable quality of the songwriting and the unique atmospheric groove the artist captures.
So it becomes entirely about the feeling and the texture, rather than fitting into a predefined category.
Exactly.
But, pushing those extreme creative boundaries while simultaneously fighting for algorithmic survival, all while navigating an industry filled with fake marketing campaigns, that takes a massive psychological toll.
A huge toll.
And when you look at who is actually breaking down under this modern pressure, a really surprising paradox emerges.
The data on burnout in the modern creative landscape goes against almost everything we would assume about the difficulty of these careers.
Yeah. According to the Source Conversation, YouTubers, podcasters, and bedroom content creators are burning out and quitting their platforms at a significantly higher rate than touring musicians and stand-up comedians.
Which sounds completely counterintuitive.
It really does. On paper, the touring band faces a grueling existence. They were living on moving buses, dealing with terrible sleep schedules, eating gas station food, and spending months away from their families.
It's physically exhausting.
Right. Meanwhile, a digital creator is working in a climate-controlled home studio. They can order delivery, sleep in their own bed, and do their job in sweatpants.
The dream, supposedly.
Exactly. It forces us to ask why the objective physical comfort of a bedroom studio results in a worse mental toll than the physical punishment of a sweaty tour bus. Like, is comfort actually the enemy of meaning?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at how the human nervous system is wired for feedback, validation, and connection.
Okay.
A touring musician or a stand-up comedian operates in an environment of high amplitude, instantaneous feedback.
Instant reactions.
Right. An artist plays a riff, and the nervous system immediately processes the physical sound and energy of hundreds or thousands of people screaming and reacting in the same room.
Yeah.
It is a visceral biochemical rush of positive reinforcement.
You literally feel the sound waves and the energy right in your chest.
Exactly. But a digital creator operates in an environment of low amplitude, deeply delayed feedback. A creator might publish a video that reaches 5 million people, but that achievement translates into nothing more than a number ticking up on a glowing screen while they sit in a silent room.
Wow, that's dark when you put it like that.
The human nervous system does not know how to process a spreadsheet or an analytics dashboard as emotional validation. You are completely isolated. The objective physical comfort of the bedroom is higher, but the genuine human connection is virtually non-existent.
And the music industry adds another layer to this burnout paradox with modern record deals.
Oh, absolutely.
The sources discuss the reality of the 360 deal. An artist isn't just signing away the rights to 5 albums. The label takes a percentage of touring, merchandise, and even YouTube ad revenue.
They take a piece of everything.
Right. So to recoup the massive advances built into these deals, the artist essentially has to become a 247 content machine. They are mortgaging their youth and their creative passion to a corporate entity, which forces them onto the exact same exhausting digital treadmill as the bedroom creator.
That financial structure turns their artistic passion into a relentless high-pressure engine. But the critical difference remains that the band is enduring that hardship together.
Together, yes.
True meaning and sustained motivation are born from shared struggle and real-world connection. When you are isolated in a comfortable room, staring at digital metrics that have come to determine your self-worth, the burnout is insidious because it attacks your sense of purpose.
And the sources capture this survival mechanism beautifully when they discuss what they call the FU family pivot.
It is a profound psychological realization for these creators.
It really is. It references massive legacy creators, people like PewDiePie or Filthy Frank,
Yeah.
who reached the absolute zenith of digital metrics.
They won the game.
Right. They conquered the algorithm, amassed tens of millions of subscribers, and then realized the numbers were entirely hollow.
Yeah.
The pivot is the realization that algorithmic approval, view counts, and digital industry clout mean nothing compared to the real physical presence of the people in your life.
Which makes perfect sense.
They deliberately retreat from the algorithmic rat race to focus on their spouses, their children, and their tangible, real-world relationships. That physical, high-amplitude connection is the only feedback loop that actually sustains the human mind.
They are actively stepping away from a gamified synthetic system to reclaim their own humanity. It is a complete ecosystem shift that affects how art is conceptualized, how it is sold, and ultimately how it is experienced by the individual.
Well, we have covered some massive, complex ground today.
You really have.
We've traced how the architecture of the internet has reshaped everything. We look at artists writing a guitar riff backwards just to optimize a TikTok hook, and marketing agencies fabricating entire cultural moments using burner accounts and trend simulation.
Yeah, that's still crazy to me.
Right. We explored how listeners and artists are rebelling against sterile radio hits by fleeing to the extremes of aggressive nostalgia and wild, mathematical genre blending.
Both fascinating directions.
And finally, we examined the intense psychological isolation of the digital creator, trapped by low-amplitude feedback and endless metrics.
The landscape demands constant adaptation, but it also demands a hyper-awareness of what we are consuming and how it was designed.
Definitely. So the next time you are scrolling through TikTok or your Spotify release radar and a track hooks you flawlessly in the first 3 seconds, pause for a moment.
Just think about it.
Ask yourself, are you actually engaging with a structurally sound piece of lasting art? Or are you just falling for a highly engineered jump scare designed to hijack your dopamine?
Are you experiencing something built for a human or something built to satisfy a machine?
So what does this all mean? I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you go about your day.
Oh, I like these.
If artificial intelligence and digital marketing algorithms eventually perfect the exact science of the 15-second viral hook, if they map our neurology perfectly and figure out the ultimate formula to capture our attention, will the ultimate form of musical rebellion in the future simply be a return to 20-minute, completely unclippable, live acoustic jam sessions that absolutely refuse to fit on a screen?
We might just have to wait and see.
Until next time, keep diving deep.